All right, come on, 5:59. Well, we have 5 of us, so we could start soon. Give it a minute.
We missed you at graduation, Cindy and Shannon. It was really nice.
I cannot wait 2 more weeks and I can start doing stuff at night. But it's just this year.
Cindy, don't even
Yeah.
say anything, please. But just
It was
I
a
missed
little warm.
a little warm,
Yeah,
a little warm.
I bet it was warm.
I even gave Allison a sweaty hug. I gave everyone a sweaty hug after because I was so happy to hug.
Yeah, it was nice not having to wear masks. You know, if you're fully vaccinated, you know, it was nice.
I did wear them when the students were coming to have their photos because they were right there.
There's the mayor. Hello, Mayor. We'll give it 1 minute for Marissa and then we'll just start. And who wants to be co-host? There she is. Just when I say it, there she comes. All right, we're good. Hello, Marissa. All right, I'm gonna make you a co-host. There we go. I'm gonna start recording.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right. So I have 6:01. Can we have a roll call vote to open? Lori?
Laurie Garcia here.
Shannon?
Shannon Dunham here.
Mayor LaChapelle? You're on mute.
Mayor LaChapelle here.
Maren?
Aaron Goldstein here.
Marissa?
Marissa Crary here.
And Jonathan?
Jonathan Schmidt here.
And Cindy Kwasinski here. Good evening and welcome to the June 8th, 2021 school committee meeting. We will be going into executive session to conduct bargaining. I can't talk, try it again. To conduct bargaining with the Easthampton Education Association at the end of our regular session. We'll be adjourning from there. Dr. Leclerc, do you have any announcements?
Yes, just a reminder to families that the last day of school is next week, June 16th. And so families, if they have any questions, should contact the schools, their individual schools. We've had some great events happen to date. We had graduation on Saturday night. It was wonderful. Thank you to everyone at the high school that worked so hard to make that event a success. We also had other events during the week for the seniors, and we'll continue to have some events. Prom is next week. We have 4th grade step up and 8th grade continuation. And so we have some events coming up. They'll all be outside. So we encourage families to make sure they're reading their newsletter or checking in with their class teacher to find out when events are scheduled. And just ask families to bear with us as we get through this oppressive heat wave that we're having and the half days that we've had to call because our students and staff are wearing masks and we have very limited use of our fans because of state guidance. So we just ask for everyone to bear with us as we get through these warm days. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. And our next meetings are July 20th, August 10th, August 24th. And Marissa, do we have any correspondence?
We do not have any for this meeting.
Okay. And now is the time for public speak. I'm going to ask anybody who wants to speak to please signal and limit your comments to 3 minutes. And please state who you are. So is there anyone who would like to talk? I do not see anyone. Going. All right, we're going to close public speak. All right, policy subcommittee update.
I have not had a chance to get together with everybody to schedule a meeting, but I also wanted to find out, are we going to start meeting in person? I know there was an email that went out, but I didn't see a response. As of June 15th, I think you said, Allison?
I put that out there. I think it's not up to me. I think it's up to the mayor. So,
Okay, I just didn't hear, I didn't see a response.
yeah,
so
no,
much.
I didn't get a response yet.
Yeah, actually, I should say, several of the city email accounts have been affected because of a server problem in the basement. So I have just found out that I'm getting maybe every 1 in 3 emails. So if anybody out there has like wondering why I've not answered, please call the office and we'll get on it. As far as in-person meetings, they will occur after July 1st.
Okay,
So
thank you.
for everyone, yeah. And I signed a hybrid remote participation order that was accepted by the city council. Peg, Coniff City Council President, is working through that, how that actually works with people on Zoom and people in person. And City Council Chambers has been set up to accommodate that. They've been testing it. So I would encourage people to get a hold of Peg, and she can walk you through it and walk you through the procedural end of the order.
All right,
Thank you.
So Finance Subcommittee,
Wait, can I just, I'm sorry, Mayor, so does that mean that we could hold our meetings that way? Because there has been a lot of dialogue on the Mass Association of School Committee blog and emails about different
Yeah.
districts attempting. So that's what you're referring to have even some of like the school committee members as well as the audience be able to be on remote while some people are in person?
Yes, any public, multi-member public body that meets needs to have a quorum in attendance. But once the quorum is met, if there are other members who wanted of that committee to Zoom in, that would be allowed. Also the chair, and this is one of the things that we're figuring out now. I have signed the order allowing it, but there is some guidance saying that it is up to the chair of each multi-member body if they are going to allow remote participation. So we're trying to figure out if that means it's meeting by meeting or all meetings or whatnot, to give chairs, their proper options. So we're hoping that we get some clarification from the governor's office and the AG's office, in the next 7 days.
Okay, thank you.
okay. Finance Subcommittee,
We have not met. So can we just follow that thread
Yeah.
though? We just want to verify one more piece of it. So that means that our July 10th meeting will be meeting in person.
that's my understanding.
If the chair so chooses.
If the chair so chooses, okay. So really, it's a matter of people's comfort level and those who are comfortable. So I'll talk separately with everyone. As far as I'm concerned, doing a hybrid is a great idea to make people comfortable. So I have no problem with that at all. So I'll just contact people separately. Find out where their comfort level is.
It's also much more convenient with summer vacation plans
Yeah.
because you can attend the meeting from anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
No more missed meetings. Of course, we don't have many, thank goodness. So Maren, do we have a finance subcommittee
We did not
update?
meet, no.
Okay, and do we have a collaborative update? It's gonna be a very speedy meeting.
Well, we do have a collaborative update. I'll start by saying it is a little bit different. In lieu of our normal presentation from one of the various departments of the collaborative, instead we did sort of a a share-all of the different members of the board so that we could get to know each other a little bit. You know, some of these folks have literally never been in a in-person school committee meeting, and I think that makes it tough for folks. So we spent some time kind of learning about each other. But I will say I'm pleased to announce, some of you have probably heard already, the new executive director of the collaborative will be Dr. Todd Gazda, the superintendent currently at the Ludlow schools. He'll be starting effective July 1st. Some of the things I'm really excited about in terms of him taking on the role, aside from his leadership on the of superintendents in the state on the Mass Association of School Superintendents. He also has a law degree. He started in that profession before going back to school to become an educator. And I think the role of the collaborative as sort of a advocacy body is really crucial, and I think he'll bring some interesting insight and background there. I think he's also really well suited to sort of being a catalyst for change as we think about education moving on from this pandemic. He's been very vocal about changing the way we approach standardized tests and in bringing a focus to social and emotional learning in his own district. And I believe that these are things that he will carry with him into his work. Yeah, we'll see how that goes once you get started. The whole strategic planning process is going to be, I think, slowed down a little bit so that he can get in and be a part of that. I'm anticipating that we'll be receiving a presentation in September, but I know the agency is doing some real inward reflection and gathering information from the different departments around what they think needs to be planned for and what's important. In the not too distant future, I anticipate that we will be receiving, I think, a presentation from the folks at Spiffy now that they've done their every other year assessment of student mental health and substance abuse, but some interesting figures I can just toss at you. In the meantime, some of them are of no surprise. Students report increased anxiety, isolation, depression, less exercise, disrupted sleep. 1/3 of students said remote learning was harder. Half said that they learned less this year. But on the flip side of that, about 3/4 of students said that they believed that an adult in their school cared about them. Over 80% said that they had an adult at school that they could go to with a school-related problem, and more than 60% said that someone at school that they could go to someone at school with a personal problem. So despite all of the challenges, it's pretty clear that students, at the very least, our educators, continue to do the great work that we know that they do and supported their students throughout this difficult year. Last thing I'll throw out, just because I thought it was really fascinating, we were shown a brief video about something called the Amherst mobile market that somehow the collaborative has gotten themselves involved in, essentially addressing the fact that much of Amherst is a food desert, and they've partnered with a farm that provides food for this market that is run by the folks who live in these communities that are being served, and everybody is able to, the folks in these communities can come no matter what they can pay and get food, fresh produce from this market. And I just thought that was really great. And I don't know, the collaborative has their hands in all of these amazing and unexpected things, and I wanted to share that with y'all. So next meeting will be in June, and I'll share back again with you then.
That's at the end of June?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, it is June. No, Losing track of time here. I think that's true. I'll get back to you on that.
Okay. All right, so on to the superintendent update.
Can I give an
Oh,
update on
sorry.
wellness? It's
I am-
okay.
I am
You
so
were,
sorry.
it's okay, it's fine. You weren't here the last time when I said I was switching from COVID response to wellness. So I wanted to give a brief update on that. I participated in the tail end of a walk audit that was conducted on Friday afternoon. It started at Whitebrook, our new Mountain View school. And Lucy, Friedman Bell, who is our coordinator from Mass Safe Routes to Schools, was there, as well as somebody else from that organization and Mass Department of Transportation. Jeffrey Bagg, our city planner, was there. Officer Sishi was there to represent to the bike path to get safely to the new school. Everyone pointed out just how narrow and dangerous the sidewalk is that feeds into the new school. Even with the new rotary going in, it really is a dangerous zone. So we have to do all we can as a community to support this endeavor. And a survey did go out. Many apologies to the people who started to respond right away because everyone was so eager to get it out to parents. It hadn't even gone live yet. But as soon as we contacted Safe Routes to Schools, within minutes, they made it live and they made an extra link for the high school. So they are so willing to work with us if we can prove that we are a community that really wants this and needs this. So doing that survey is essential. It will be open for only 2 weeks. If for some reason we feel that we need to keep it open longer, we can do so. But if you have any trouble with that, the contacts to Mass Safe Routes for Schools is on the email, or you can get in touch with me anytime. We are also discussing having bike rodeos to teach safety around bike riding. In addition to that, there is a course that the Safe Routes to Schools has the whole curriculum designed. I actually sent it to Julianne today. I'm sure she didn't have time to look at it. As I said, she got it. I did send it. And it can be given, these brief classes can be given in gym class to our elementary school students. Everything is already planned and done to promote pedestrian safety, not only when they're going to school, but pedestrian safety in general. It's a wonderful course. And I suggested to them, coming from an educator standpoint, if educators are going to take on that responsibility to learn the curriculum and to do the training, could they get professional development points? So right away, they went to DESE. They were able to secure a code and a number that if our teachers are going to do the brief training and help to educate our students in pedestrian safety, they will also get professional development points. So it is a win-win-win situation for all. So please do all you can to support this endeavor and make sure you get the surveys completed. Thank you.
Thank you. That's great. It's awesome. All right, on to our superintendent update.
Okay, thank you. So this evening I have two updates. One is a follow-up to our school resource officer presentation that was made last time we had a school committee meeting. And I apologize to the mayor. I sent this, Mayor LaChapelle, to you earlier today, but knowing what the statement you just made a little while ago, perhaps you did not receive it in your email. So you may be seeing this for the first time or hearing this for the first time, but you can add any comments. So since our last meeting about 2 weeks ago, we have done a few things to get some questions answered. So the mayor's office organized a Zoom call for the purpose of a follow-up discussion to review some of the concerns that were raised by the mayor at the school committee meeting. Participants at that Zoom call included our school attorney, the two attorneys that we work with at the AG's office, the chief of police, the mayor, and myself. And we reviewed the presentation and some of the challenges that were raised. I think that it's fair to say that everyone had an opportunity to provide input into the discussion, and we had a very good dialogue. And the general sense, my understanding of the general sense was that our current memorandum of understanding will take us through the end of this current school year, which is next week. And then the chief and I have agreed to collaborate over the summer to write a new MOU that will reflect the changes that will be needed for next year, with the idea that we will need to probably go at this a few different times as there's new legislation coming out from the state probably in next year. So we'll have to adjust it in the future. The Attorney General's office will not be involved in the process, as they will have no more involvement in Easthampton going forward than they do in any other school district in the state. So the revision of our MOU will be between the superintendent and the chief of police, and not a matter for the Attorney General's office. So, Mayor, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
I just the MOU and how different that might look. So, as I've made clear in the past and with the AG, we're not funding an SRO position. We're not laying anybody off. We're not giving back grant money, but we're going to a community policing model. So the MOU would clarify school police relations,
Yeah.
rather than be connected to a job description, SRO, or a more standardized MOU with the SRO position. So the memorandum would clarify whatever the connections are as determined by the superintendent and the police, but will not relate to building assigned or building-based police officers serving and filling the SRO job description.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's very helpful call.
Yep. So I think that the next steps will be, as I outlined in the last presentation to the school committee, the next step really for us is to begin working on that memorandum with the chief. And really, I think that will take some work over the summer for us, and then to get the information out to members of our community, to get it out to all the stakeholders and that sort of thing. So those will be some of the next steps. So I'm happy to give an update to this committee probably in the fall, after we've done some of the legwork that we need to do.
Thank you.
So if everyone is okay, I will move on to the start time presentation. It looks like I have sharing ability. Let me see if it's true. And so, okay, let me get out of that and let me go to this. So I forget who at this point raised the issue of school start times in Easthampton, but it is an issue that has come up in some neighboring communities to us. So we've been doing a little bit of investigating in this, and I want to start by saying I think that more work needs to be done. This is not something that we would be putting forward for this committee to implement in September, in this coming September. There are a lot of challenges that we need to overcome in order to move forward. And so I just want to give you some of the foundational work that we've done and kind of the next steps that we'll be looking at. So why would we even consider shifting start times? Well, there's a couple of reasons, and it has to go first back to our district vision. Our public schools are committed to providing exceptional learning experiences that foster academic, emotional, and social growth within a state-of-the-art, welcoming, and inclusive setting. And we know that through the research, there is a lot of information that tells us that the best learning experiences come when students have the appropriate sleep. So that's why we're trying to draw that connection back to why we're even beginning to review this information. This is steeped in some of the work that we've already been engaging in. The scientific research really is that many professional medical and public health organizations recommend that older students, middle and high school, start school later in order to provide them with more sleep. And I will be sharing out some of the resources for this for anyone that would like to explore it more deeply. So we know that teens need approximately 8 to 10 hours of sleep per night. That's put out by the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. We know that biological sleep patterns shift to later times for both sleeping and waking during adolescence, meaning it's normal for teens to be unable to fall asleep before 11 p.m. That may explain a lot to some families. The sleep shift is not due to lifestyle choice. It's a factor of biology and circadian rhythms. And the impact of sleep deprivation. We know that delaying the start of the school day is an effective countermeasure to chronic sleep loss and has a wide range of potential benefits with regard to physical and mental health, safety, and academic achievement. Delayed high school start times promote student health and performance, higher attendance and graduation rates, improvement in standardized test scores. It reduces injuries to student athletes, and it's been shown to reduce car accidents among teen drivers. So here's some of the timeline that we've put together for moving forward. Initiate the topic with the school committee. Over the summer, we want to develop surveys for staff, students, and parents. We have some of these surveys already developed, but I think it is more than just one survey to one group. I think we need to hear from the students. We need to hear from our staff, and I think we need to weigh all of that information. And then we also need to have some forums in the fall, including with students. We want to hear their voices. And we would survey staff, students, and families again in the fall, and then review the survey data and initiate discussions. Well, they've probably already been initiated to some degree by then, but we need to consider transportation, employment, meaning employment for our high school students, childcare issues for our younger families, and athletic challenges around the start time of competitions and practices. We would look to make a recommendation to the full school committee in January of 22 with a vote, and then share information for consideration for the start of the 22-23 school year, begin that to disseminate that information out to families in the spring. So information, just circling back, that's really impacting our decision. We want to look at survey data. We want school committee meeting feedback. We want to hear from parents at public speak. We want to have forums for students and families. And we want to consider private feedback in the form of emails and anecdotal conversations. We need to have conversations with our transportation company to see the possibility and if there's a financial ramification for making this adjustment. And we want to continue to explore the research because there is a lot of research on this topic. So, whoops, I'm sorry, went one too far. Our takeaways from this year that are impacting us moving forward with this, I think more than ever, we are committed to mental and social health for our students, and we know this is even more critical as we move beyond the pandemic. And we are committed to focusing on the research. We've never focused on the research more than we have this year with our reliance on the CDC and the Mass Department of Public Health and the Department of Education. So we want to keep using that as our touchstone as we go forward. So here is kind of the current school times for the school committee and for the families that are watching to see. And what we would be proposing is a flip of the elementary and the high school. Well, again, I went too fast. And the flip would be that the elementary schools would start earlier, because we also know through the research, which I haven't even really shared too much tonight, that elementary students or younger students are up earlier, and they're more morning friends than high schoolers are. So we would look at proposing to do that shift. But you can see from looking at this schedule that for some families that will require considerations around childcare in the afternoon. High school students will not be available as much to get younger ones off the bus. So it is requiring a lot of consideration and careful thought. And so next year we will be working on looking at transportation, childcare. We may have to expand our childcare options and what that might entail. We would need to see how other school districts are working on athletics. It's not just the athletic schedule, but I have had some preliminary conversations with the athletic director. We have limited access to athletic spaces. And in the winter, for example, when we have sports practicing indoors, it's going to be really difficult if practices can't start until about 3:30, 4 o'clock in order for all the teams to get practices in the gymnasiums that we have. And we know this will impact student employment. So we need to consider the employees in the community and start to get that messaging out and hear what some of their concerns are. And that's my presentation to you tonight. That's what we're working on, and that's where we are right now. And I'm happy to address some questions with people and make any tweaks to this that you might have. If we've forgotten anything, please let us know. Maren?
Being a high school teacher, I can tell you I have zombies in the morning, and changing the start time would help them incredibly. It really would. Our school, our district, and a lot of districts across the state are looking into this change. Mayor?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it's been a while since I've taught in middle school or high school, and I really liked the presentation and appreciated too the timeline out to 2022, 2023 to really think about it. Not only financial, but as you stated, for the families, and figuring out what we can do outside of these particular sets of changes to help what's going on in the community, if it's like older kids not being home or whatnot. But yeah, I think it's what we need to look at, like the chair said, and I really like the approach, and I can't wait to hear more about the research. Fascinating.
Aaron?
Yeah.
So a couple other thoughts that I have. One is, and I'll just sort of put this out there, and it's not necessarily for discussion, but obviously we're right now in the process of negotiating our teacher union contract with staff. And so that timeline puts it in as year 3 of a 3-year contract. So that, because right now we're negotiating this past year, next year, and the following year. And so it's just something that we want to think about as making sure that that's in that conversation that we get to be back in tomorrow. And then the other is a little bit more of a question. How would this impact students that go to CTEC and Smith? Has that already been looked at? Do you have any initial feedback on that piece of it? I'm just curious.
So it's interesting. We haven't had those discussions yet, but I do know that Northampton is moving to this model, and Smith is their vocational school of choice. So I wouldn't be surprised if Smith started moving in that direction at some point in time. And CTEC, I'm not sure. We would have to explore that further with CTEC, but that raises a good question, Maren, because the CTEC schedule is a half-day schedule, and then the students come into the building, or they attend our school in the morning and then go to CTEC in the afternoon. So these are all obstacles or challenges that we need to overcome in order to move forward.
What is Northampton's timeline to becoming, moving there, transitioning? Is that next year or the year after? You know?
I believe they're transitioning next year.
Yeah, I think so. Before the pandemic, Hatfield did a pilot for 3 weeks. We tried this out to see how families and kids would like it. And then we shut down and, you know, we never went any further. So that's something we're going to be picking up. But I think every school district in this area is going to start looking at it. It just makes a lot of logical sense. Lori?
Just coming from the other side, I don't know if I've mentioned it before, working in different districts, it's really important to some districts and some students. And when I've asked others, they prefer the way it is. And where I teach, we actually start at 7:10 in the morning. And most students have said they prefer to start earlier so they have those options later to work, to take care of siblings and for sports. So I'm not trying to be the devil's advocate here. I understand the studies with getting enough sleep. But I think that what we are doing is perfect because we are going to ask this community, because it's
Right.
important to know that not everybody feels the same way. So we
Right.
need the input from the parents and the students. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Anybody else? Shannon?
I was just thinking, you know, if we start an hour later, they're gonna go to bed an hour later. I know my kids always did. I'm sure those of you who have teenagers do the same. You give them an hour, they're gonna take an hour.
I agree with you, except that the research really has talked about how just their biorhythms will wake up better at a later time of the day. So even if they did stay up later, getting up that much later in the morning seems to have a better reaction. So, I mean, there's lots of research. They're all going to look at it. And, but that question has been asked by a lot of people.
I think it will be really interesting to explore because I think people have a lot of different opinions. You know, I'm definitely a morning person, and as a high school teacher, I used to love getting to work early and being done early. It was great. But, you know, as Cindy said, when you're a high school teacher, your first morning class, you're pretty much doing a song and dance trying to get kids to wake up. So I get it. But yeah, so it's a topic we'll continue to explore. And like I said, we've got some of the surveys ready to go. And we will work on some more this summer so that we have kind of a different set of questions for the kids and for the parents and for the staff, just so we hit all the points. So that's all I have for you tonight.
Okay. You did want to talk about the July meeting. Did you want to wait till other, or should we do it right now while you're?
No, we can do it right now. I proposed to the chair that we consider not having a meeting in the month of July. And my rationale was that I think in the past year, we have had enough meetings to last us a lifetime. And not to be dramatic, but as an example, last summer, I think there was a point when we were meeting almost every week, which is not part of your norm. Yeah. And so this summer, I'm following in the steps of some of my counterparts in other communities, and I'm putting it out there. It might be nice for this committee to just take a month off and unplug and recharge and not have to have the weight of that on you and come back fresh. So I put it out there to all of you for feedback.
Lori?
I was going like this because for many weeks, we met twice a week. We had our Monday work sessions that were open to the public, and then we met on Tuesday, week after week. So I think that we all need a break. in July, especially those of us who are trying to get through this year teaching. So thank you for even suggesting it. I vote yes.
I would just add to that, I'm not at all opposed, but it certainly wouldn't take away the ability for the chair to put together an emergency or off-schedule meeting if
Correct.
something should come up, right? I just wanted to, okay. Excellent, thank you.
Anybody else? What do you think? Maren, Jonathan, Shannon, Marissa?
I approve. It's my daughter's 21st birthday.
Oh, that's a big one.
It is.
It really is. That's great. Marissa?
I'm fine with that as well. This is just causing me to think, though, slightly related. Are we about due to be doing superintendent evaluations? Is that coming up soon?
But we could schedule those for August, for the August meeting.
Okay.
I mean, we
I guess
could.
I mean, sorry, I'm sort of sidetracking the conversation, but really,
No,
I'm just
no,
thinking
no.
about my summer schedule and wanting to plan when those will be due.
Yeah, no, I was thinking the same thing, but I think August is absolutely fine for us. And we have 2 meetings in August. So if we want to go forward, I think we're all set. We have the 10th and the 24th.
And you already gave me a contract, so.
Jonathan, what do you think?
It's fine with me. Like the mayor said, it certainly doesn't take away our ability to schedule something if needed. And we've certainly seen sort of a slowdown as we quote unquote return to normal. So yeah, that's fine.
Mary?
Yeah, I would just say it slightly differently. I know we are going to need at least 1 or 2 executive sessions as we get through the union negotiations this summer. So I certainly am fine with us. I mean, you can see tonight we're going to be done in, less than an hour for our standard meeting probably. So if we don't have a standard meeting set, that's fine. But I know just for everyone on the committee to keep cognizant, there are going to be at least a couple times that we're probably going to get together to discuss the union contract to be able to finalize that. So.
Yep. So let's just take a quick vote. I really need a vote to just decide to change this. I don't think so, Sue, but we should just roll call and make sure that everybody's in agreement. So Marissa?
Marissa Curry, aye.
Lori?
Laurie Garcia, aye.
Mayor? Mayor LaChapelle?
Mayor LaChapelle, aye.
Maren?
Aaron Goldstein, aye.
Jonathan?
Jonathan Schmidt, aye.
Shannon?
Shannon Dunham, aye.
Cynthia Kucinski, aye. I think we could all use 1 month's break. I think that's an awesome idea. Okay, that'll be your summer vacation. Okay, so Marissa, I turn it over to you.
Do we do other? Sorry.
Oh, do you
Oh,
want to
I'm
do other
sorry. Is
first?
there any other? Excuse me. Thank you, Shannon. Okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask a question in regards to transportation for students that go to other schools, whether it's a special program or to Smith or to CTech or whatever it is. When we have a half day, we don't provide transportation to the students that are in those schools from our district.
I don't believe that's a true statement, Shannon. We do provide transportation.
For regular times, even though
In the past
get-
2 days, specifically, we've provided transportation to CTech and Smith. And
What
we've had
about-
half days. Is that what you mean?
yeah, when we have a half day, but
Yeah.
like a specials program that we transport the students, are they getting picked up at the end of the day still, even though our school day is over?
I believe so. That was a conversation I had with the bus company this week.
Okay, I'll
Yep.
double check, but I heard 2 different people say something to me about not having transportation from Chicopee and also from Smith.
Well, what's in Chicopee? I don't know what's in Chicopee.
I don't remember the name of it.
I don't know if there's a substantially separate specialized program I
Oh, Valley
can't,
West.
that might be
That's
something
Valley West.
different. Yeah. So that would be a special ed question that we can ask the special ed director.
Okay.
CTEC is in West Springfield and
Right.
Smith is in Northampton, and we've provided transportation all this week, so,
Was that something that we normally did? Let me ask that
Yeah.
question.
yeah.
All right, I just want to make sure.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other? Mayor?
I actually have two, and I know, this has come to my attention, and I know both, the sped director and superintendent, there've been some concerns about summer programming for special needs students and not having staff. My question would be, especially since I think it's somewhat COVID related, can we spend ESSER money or other school district money to bring in outside contractors maybe to provide the services? I realize that the intent is to do compensatory services in the fall, but I just worry about some of the students on the special education continuum where compensatory obviously is good, but it's really that consistency through the summer that keeps them able and open to education in the fall. And I was just, is outsourcing a possibility if we cannot hire these professionals?
So to my understanding, the outside services are appropriate in two ways. We have some students that we are unable to serve in district because we don't have staffing for a summer program. And we've worked out agreements with camps and other programs in other communities that we're paying to send children to. If it's, related to programmatically, if it's a good match for what their needs are. And we are exploring having contracted service providers come into the district, but we have not been able to secure any of that yet. But it is something that we are still exploring.
Great.
Mhm.
Thank you. And then just one other question too, and maybe this has gone out as a notice and I haven't seen it, for summer meal program, because the meal program is going to go through September at least. Is there, do we have a policy or protocol of how that's going to work? I know I, for one, I'm going to make sure it's on all the city Facebook pages, that we put out an alert and whatnot around summer meals and, over the summer at least, and who knows what happens in the fall with waivers.
Right. So, yeah. And so we don't know what happens in the fall. So our plan, and I don't know where this has gone out. I can ask Dale, our business manager, tomorrow, but our plan is that meals will end on Friday the 18th for the regular school year. School ends on the 16th. And then we serve meals again on the 18th. And then the food service department takes a 2-week break, as they did last summer, because they shut the whole program down. So they all take the same vacation. And then they will return on Tuesday, the 6th, and Tuesday is not a normal day for meals. Normally it would be a Monday, but because I think Monday is the holiday, so they will do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday that week, and then they'll move forward with Monday, Wednesday, and Friday after that. Same plan as before. The students will get a bag with the breakfast and the lunch. They'll get it so that it equates to 7 days. The program will, we've aligned it, we'll be serving the food from 9:30 to 11:30 on those days. And the sites will be the high school and Maple School, which are our two sites that we've always had. We have a lot of students that are in summer school this year. And so they will get a bag when summer school session ends so that they can take the bag home with them. And that will go until September, and then we'll wait to see what happens.
For the 2-week break, And I know it has to be concurrent with the schools. For that 2-week break, if possible, can we work with Power Packs to get meals out in that 2-week in between?
I can look into that, Mayor.
Okay.
I think Power Packs, we did that through the person over at Maple, right?
Right.
I can
Yep.
touch
Shelley.
base with you
Yep.
tomorrow, yeah.
I'm not sure if she would be equipped to do that though. I
If
know
she can-
Robin.
Yeah, I mean, if someone can get us, someone get the, I guess my thing is if we can get the food, like the meals together, and then just have the distribution outside the schools, we can figure that out. And for those students or families, I'm thinking about Parsons Village, or Treehouse, maybe we have a drop off or whatnot and drive it out. But I'm most worried about the break, the 2-week break.
I feel like, so we did this same thing last year. And I don't know why I feel like a person in the city side, a woman, Robin, was it Robin? Why do I feel like,
Robin's from the ECC.
I feel like someone did something on the city side last year to assist us because the food service department won't have any staff. So we won't
Right.
have food in-house. We won't
No.
have meals put together. So I feel like someone on the city side stepped up last year and I can't remember who, but I can see if anyone in my office recalls what we did last year during the break.
It was
Okay.
probably Robin. I think she puts together like a grocery bag for the week for families. And I know
Which
a lot
may
of the
be similar to the Power Pack.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I know a lot, but the Power Pack is only weekends usually.
Right, but I think what the mayor was saying, if we could do something on a larger scale.
Right. She is grant funded, and I don't know if she has the ability to handle like 2 full weeks. You know what I mean? I mean, it's
Yeah,
worth asking, but
yeah, I mean, I think we should ask, and I know that there's a volunteer group over at St. Philip's that has been helping when there's like around the holidays and whatnot. So I just want to be working on that. I mean, because June 18th is next week and it's 2, weeks. And I am worried about like holiday pay and just where families are with it, if they're missing days of work or wherever. I think that these weeks are especially important. And I think for 2 weeks, we can figure something out between like some food from, community center or out of a donation account, getting them to Maple Street and EHS because people can pick them up there, whatever, it's 2 weeks. I mean, it's 2 weeks. We can figure it out. I mean, it wasn't the last time, I was involved. I think we were, we're talking no more than 100 meals every delivery. So, to figure that out 2 times over 2 weeks, I think it's doable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll have Lindsay get in touch with your office because as you're saying, somebody on the city side, I think Lindsay was a part of that solution for those.
Okay.
For that, I think I'm pretty sure it was Lindsay. So
Okay.
Lindsay will follow up.
Great. Anything else? Lori?
I just want to quickly bring it to everyone's attention because it kind of disappeared off the radar when the pandemic hit. But Julianne Levin and I were supposed to have gone in April of last year to an all-day conference about trying to bring a bilingual program to our district. And I have contacted Julianne and I'm going to set up a meeting with her. And it's something I still want to push for to get into our new school. Because, as I said, it stopped, everything stopped when the pandemic began, but it's still something that I think that this community would truly benefit from. So I'd just like to bring that to everyone's attention.
Thank you. Marissa, did you have something?
Yes, I just wanted to mention sort of unofficially, I know a lot of people are gearing up for election season, and so I thought it would be useful. I'm sure some of my colleagues here already know this, but to say that I do not plan on running again for what would be a 4th term. This is my 6th year on the committee. It's such an honor, such a great experience. But at this point, I'm looking to spend a little bit more time with my kids' activities and some professional stuff after a really intense year. So if there are people out there who are thinking about running, I imagine we're going to have a great field with how much engagement we've had over the past 18 months. But I would certainly be happy to answer questions, offer support, help you get signatures, that kind of thing. So. All right, should I move into payroll?
When you go, we will miss you.
Oh, thank you. I will miss you too. I'll show up for public speak and bother you.
Okay, if there's nothing else, Marissa, do you want to do payrolls?
Sure thing. I move to approve school payroll dated 6/3/2021 in the amount of $563,571.65.
I second that.
Okay, Marissa,
Marissa Curry, aye.
Lori,
Laurie Garcia, aye.
Mayor,
Mayor LaChapelle, aye.
Maren,
Aaron Goldstein, aye.
Jonathan,
Jonathan Schmidt, aye.
Shannon,
Shannon Dunham, aye.
Cindy Kuzensky, aye.
I move to approve accounts payable authorization for payment dated 6/3/2021 in the amount of $119,605.40.
Second that.
Marissa,
Marissa Curry, aye.
Lori,
Laurie Garcia, aye.
Mayor,
Mayor LaChapelle, aye.
Maren,
Aaron Goldstein, aye.
Jonathan Schmidt, aye.
Shannon Dunham, aye.
Cynthia Kuzensky, aye. Okay, let's just have a roll call vote to move to executive session. Marissa,
Marissa Curry, aye.
Laurie Garcia, aye.
Mayor,
Mayor LaChapelle, aye.
Aaron Goldstein, aye.
Jonathan Schmidt, aye.
Shannon Dunham, aye.
Cynthia Kuzensky, aye. Okay, we will go to executive session. Everybody else, have a really good night. Thank you for coming.
The